On and welcome to Man Eater 38. It's the channel. And here we are again with the same issue all over again. And what is it? The Africans didn't sell people into slavery. We didn't do it. The white man came in and snatched up all the Negroes and just took you off, and they had absolutely nothing to do with it. Now, we know that there is a video of the Ghanaian president, and he has a group of which looks like to be Caribbeans to me in the audience, and he is apologizing for slavery. Okay, and there's other people and so on and so forth. But I wanted to get down to the nitty gritty, and that's the Dahomey tribe, one of the most disgusting, sickening slave trading tribes that there were. King Gizo, right here, was a very disgusting person. Okay, and I like to get right down to it. So let me read this little bit from you. Yes, this is from Wikipedia. People don't like it, but there are other sources, and I wrote them down. And where did I put it at? I don't know. And it is right here. Yeah, it's called Dahomey Challenges to the Slave Trade. You can look that up. You can look up Slave Trade 1851 slash 2, Class A. And you can also look up, you can just research King Gizo of the Dahomey tribe. Okay, which he ended up getting sniped, which is very, very good. I'm so happy that, they sniped his behind and got him up out of there. But let me read this quickly. It says right here, while Brazil's demand for slaves increased in 1830, the British started a campaign to abolish the slave trade in Africa. The British government began putting significant pressure on King Gizo in the 1840s to end slave trade in Dahomey. King Gizo responded to these requests by saying he was unable to end the slave trade because of domestic pressure. Gizo added, "The slave trade is the ruling principle of my people. It is the source and the glory of their wealth. The mother lulls the child to sleep with notes of triumph over an enemy reduced to slavery." And there's your man, King Gizo, right there. That is from the horse's mouth. You can look this up. You can go to the Library of Congress, and they have this in there. And he was like begging these guys, like he really wanted to stay into slavery. This dude would start wars when there weren't any, like they do today. Like they do today. If it's quiet and peaceful, they got to start something up. And this is what they were doing back then after they would, calm down and people would try to go and collect whatever's left of their tribes or whatever. And there was peace. These guys would start a war because they needed more slaves to sell. Okay, human beings, human lives to sell. Now, I myself, I am a Negro. I am an American. I am indigenous. I have indigenous ancestry to this country. I'm gonna say that. I don't have any indigenous ancestry in Africa. Nobody knows anything about it. Not one cousin, great 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 grandmother. Nobody knows anything about it. And that's on my mother's side or my father's side. Nobody knows anything, so therefore they do not exist. Okay? You cannot make people Africans. You have to prove somebody came from Africa, and they can't prove that any of us came from there. They truly can't. There is no DNA test. It's fake. That is commercial. People have sent their dog saliva, their canary saliva, and mixed saliva and all type of things just to see what they would get back. And they put these videos on TikTok for people to see that it isn't really real. They don't have anybody in any of these tribes that they could test your DNA against. When people go and get fraternity tests, there is a matching person. You have the mom, and then you have the DNA from who you suspect to be the father, right? And so if he is the father, it's going to come back 99.999. You have DNA swabs from two people. There is no African person in Africa that you can get a swab from and measure your DNA up against and find out which tribe you're going to come from. That's just stupidity. Okay? This is stupid. And it's not true. And I wish people would stop that. Now what you can do, if you have O positive blood, you will be more connected to Africans. Okay, so you find yourself a Negro, an American Negro, FBA, ADOS, we all of that. We all believe and want the same things, right? So if you do believe that you have some African ancestry, there's a way for you to test the quantum in your blood if you have O positive, right? And they can probably connect you to the tribe that you would be, that your people would have more than likely came from, or a certain area, right? A period in time where a group of people might have lived there, because African people have moved around or whatever. So people aren't in the same spaces, but they might could connect you to a certain area and a certain group of people through your blood quantum. Same thing with indigenous ancestry. And I'm not saying we are not. Most of us are not saying that we are taking on the names of these tribes. Some people do. Some people are joining up or whatever. But most of us, we just wanted to know where we were from. We just wanted to know our ancestry. That's all. So we wanted to know, and that's what we're looking for. And we have seeked, and we found that we do not come from Africa. What we have in common with Africans are melanin. And you can't just take melanin and say, okay, well, you're melanin, so you have no. Okay, different climates around the world, people will have darker skin, or the sun is shining longer, or the end out there, or whatever. And, indigenous people were out in the sun as well all the time because they were harvesting. They had to harvest that corn. They had to get that luxurious fur up so they could have their nice fur wrappings and those beautiful moccasins to put on their feet, which I wore. And my friends used to tease me about it all the time, but I love my moccasins to this day. But you can't find a decent pair. But anyway, yeah, I just want to do this right quick because I'm tired of them constantly coming back. I'm tired of the Pan Africans constantly coming on here and giving out misinformation. I would say disinformation, because they know doggone well that these people had a part in the slave trade. So stop trying to teach younger people that don't know and haven't done the research yet that they were stolen and kidnapped. I grew up thinking that, believing that we were kidnapped from Africa, all the stupid shit. And then when you get educated, you realize, like, no, this was a business. Africans have been in the slave trade since 1404. Okay, when they started collecting people for debt and for whatever reason. Because if you look at the things that they do to each other over there today, they don't need much of a reason to do things to each other. Okay, whatever pisses them off could spark up a little war between them. So I just wanted to read this just to show them nastiness and the audacity of just this guy. He's just, I believe there was another letter written too, but I can't think of that king's name, when he was also begging, like, don't end the slave trade. And look at this man. He said the glorious triumph over envy. Oh my God, he said the mother lulls the child to sleep with the notes of triumph over an enemy reduced to slavery. So I mean, like, damn, like he really hated his own people because they were all from, that continent. So they all have that in common, you know. Now, what could these people have really done to him so horrible that he would want to see them sent off? Nothing. It was a money-making thing. But that's how nasty this man was. And like I said, I'm glad they took his behind up out of here. Okay? And I don't like this tribe. They make me sick. I don't like none of these slave trading tribes. I'm disappointed that America allows so many descendants from these slave trading tribes to come here instead of other tribes who had nothing to do with the slave trade. I could see that, and I would respect that way more than I do these people who actually are the descendants of people who were in business with, slave owners. Okay? And so that's why some people just cozy up to them and will give them more opportunities, because they have that in common. People in society have that in common, that they did that business. Their ancestors were in the trade together. So that's right. Pan Africanism is dead. So take your institutionalized 125th Street teachings down south, wherever they may be in a cluster, with your dashikis on, and go to Africa. We are not going with you. We are Americans, we are FBA, we are ADOS, we are indigenous, we are not Africans. We are not going with you. Goodbye. That's right. Pan-Africanism is dead. So take your institutionalized 125th Street teachings down south, wherever they may be in a cluster, put your dashikis on, and go to Africa. We are not going with you. We are Americans, we are FBA, we are ADOS, we are indigenous, we are not Africans. We are not going with you. Goodbye. That's right. Pan Africanism is dead. So take your institutionalized 125th Street teachings down south, wherever they may be in a cluster, put your dashikis on, and go to Africa. We are not going with you. We are Americans, we are FBA, we are ADOS, we are indigenous, we are not Africans. We are not going with you. Goodbye.